And good evening, everyone, and welcome to this, the Waypoint 4, Waypoint Mitchell meet of the Apollo 14 expedition. Hello to everyone out there in YouTube land watching. And we're here at the start of what is basically a Circles of Hell event. It's an on-foot race that will take us from here, the very top of the arena, inside a Guardian ruin. And it'll go through all the different circles of hell until we reach the bottom one, where you see that distant SRV with its lights on. That is where everyone is racing to. Now, I might be playing sort of chase car here in this regard, but mostly with camera. I don't want to accidentally run someone over, so... But otherwise, you know, we are all here, and we are all good to go, I think. And we're by the... ancient artifact here, the Guardian artifact, that glowing boxy thing, if you don't know what it is. But yeah, okay, right, if everyone is ready to go, I will start the count in a second. Right, do you all know where you're
helmet?
Do you all know where you're racing to?
No.
No, sir.
Okay, we'll try and follow the map as best you can, and this could get interesting. But to be fair, that's what most events are with anything with a map. Is like, just follow the map as best you can, and yeah, don't shoot anyone, don't blow anyone up, and just generally try to be like as sporting as you can. I don't think this is going to be perfect, but hey, this is
Remember, in case of something, the paramedics stay on the other side of the ring.
exactly expedition chaos for you. Right? Okay.
If you can't remember the map, the essence is you're going to run around the circle to this berm in the middle, drop a level, and switch directions until you get to the bottom.
That's it. Just keep running around until you can't go any further and drop down to the next one. That's how it works. Okay. Right, everybody. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And they're off. And it looks like someone's behind. Is that the medic? The paramedic.
Oh. Are they going that way round? I thought it was anti-clockwise.
No, I think I might have changed the direction from your original idea.
Oh, fine, okay.
I think everyone, Kit, who's providing us with the illuminations tonight, was the originator of this particular idea and the Circles of Hell. I modified it slightly, so we go down like a further level. I think it might be the other direction from his original idea, but it was a good idea. I mean, it's probably the best use of this arena that I can think of. I mean, I thought about an SRV race for this, but it's quite narrow, the different sort of rings. So, I mean, 2 SRVs side by side is possible, but it could, having said that, it could be carnage in a funny way. I'm not against doing that if people want to.
I don't know, you could do a Roman style arena thing where somebody thrown to the lion, so you have a guy at the bottom and suddenly a couple of people with SRVs, and the SRV drivers aim is to run them over.
Okay, I'm just quickly going to refuel my...
Somebody's going real high
SRV.
on their back jets.
Yes.
He's not getting very much in the way of speed, though. I still can't see who's who at this distance.
I think I am at the rear.
I'm moving to better vantage point for this now.
Ah, I see a pixel.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people. I think we're moving to the point that they're going to have to turn around now. They're towards the end of the first ring.
Yeah, remember, turn and then drop a level.
Yep, most people have got the right idea, I think. Yep.
There we go.
I think a lot of people are just following the guy in front, to be honest.
I think they've gone down 2 levels.
I think no, that's right. I
that's
think they've gone
that's
down
right.
one. That seems right. From your perspective, it might look like that, but they are actually on track. Yeah. So yeah,
Oh, yeah, okay.
they've
Yes,
got the right
yes.
idea. Yeah. This is the problem with this place. It's all greys and different shades of grey, so...
Yeah, that's right. The shadow is actually the surface where the turning point was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think this is like a genuine actual problem for the actual Apollo 14 astronauts in navigation. Like if everything is grey and some of the surface is washed out by sunlight, because you've got no atmosphere, navigation becomes a much harder prospect than you would think, compared to the Earth anyway.
And the snowman configuration is no use in the circles of hell.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who knows what the Guardians
Way
intended?
out front.
Yeah.
Still can't tell who it is, but
Yeah.
he's gained a march on everyone else.
I suppose the
Quite a
mystery.
long-
Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, this is the mystery of the Guardian ruins. It's like no one actually knows exactly what all these different bits were for. What are the obelisks actually for? What are these circles for? The circles are actually even more of a mystery than the obelisk, I think. But was it literally like a mining thing? Was it something at the bottom? Was it like, as you say, was it an old-fashioned Roman-style games? I mean, who knows? Right, they're coming to the second turn point now. Yeah, most people have adopted the sort of flying and sort of kangaroo hop, sort of jumping around, doing mostly flying and a little bit of running in between.
That's legal. Remember this.
Oh, it's totally legal. I didn't say you couldn't do that. Or there were no rules to the actual, race itself, other than just don't shoot each other, pretty much. Other than that, you can do what you like. You can move along foot the whole way. You could jump as much as you like. But yeah. But then again, also in real life, they found the easiest way to move around in low gravity was by the kangaroo hop. Okay, this is actually aided by a jetpack, so it makes it a bit easier. But yeah, there you go.
Hopping preserves your sprint,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
so you can sprint.
Huh.
Is that dead people? Oh no, it's a rock.
Yeah, there's other confusion as well in a world of grey and low light. Is that actually somebody? Is that something, or is it just a rock? Very easy to make a mistake. But yeah, I think looks like someone with a black suit. No, it's not actually a black suit. It's just the lighting is in the lead. Cool. Right, they're coming to another turnaround point. It's getting quite close at the front here. Yeah, you see the little sort of sparks as the jetpacks go off as well. It seems to be going quite well so far. Is there anyone further back who's... Yeah, there's like a leading bunch, there's like a middle bunch, and then there's various sort of people coming
Looks like
up the rear.
Vagabond, BE, and who's the other guy? Well, I can't see from this position.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a shame that in like remote camera that you can't actually click on individual people, because they're obviously targetable.
The SRV to get a lock.
Yeah, exactly.
But now I'm just gonna step outside, but partially because I don't want to be in the SRV and make a mistake and run over somebody.
That's entirely fair.
New murder mystery at the Guardian Ruins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another
Didn't we
mystery.
have that a couple of weeks ago where there was a dead body at one meetup?
Was Nick Commander through or something and passed out in their suit?
And
And
here they come down
yep,
to
they've done the final turn.
level.
Now they're running towards the finish. Right. Okay. Let's have a look. Who has
Oh, are you just
won?
coming straight down? I thought there was another. Okay.
No, they're
Let's
coming
see.
soon.
Who's this? This is BE has won.
Well done, B.
Right behind him, Vagabond,
Mhm.
and then Yair. Yair.
Well, that's
yeah,
the podium
okay.
for you.
Then Commander Boots, and then I think
I'm going for
Husker,
last
and
position.
then Mark Winston, and here's AG,
Oh,
and
a couple more coming in still.
Quicksilver, and Getadoy, and somebody still okay. Dead May,
That's good. That's good.
cloned again. That I would I don't suppose Cloned Again is a EVE Online reference, is it?
I think we got the you got a couple more people still coming in as well.
Yeah.
I'm just
I see
checking.
that.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We should, you know what? We should try and do
There's
a,
Howlin' Mad Murdoch. Hey, Mad. Hey, Mad.
a synchronized clap and see if we can make it sound like applause. I have to find out what my binding is for that.
Yeah, that
Oh,
makes two
wow.
of us.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I've got to
How
look
does
that up.
one- No, it's not that. It has to be
And
that.
they're still running.
Foot control.
Oh, that was tiring.
Oh, everyone up?
Okay, that's the Circles of Hell on foot done. How was that for everyone? How was it like coming down all through the different layers and levels?
That was tiring on the fingers.
Uh-huh.
My suit. It's wet inside.
I've now got a reason to engineer mine.
Yeah, there is a reason to engineer your suit, everyone. Even if it is only for competition.
Mhm.
So that's cool. I mean, let me see in terms of how we're doing time-wise. I think because we could do an SRV version, but having said that, I suspect it might actually take too long, or we wouldn't necessarily get to do event number 2 if we do that. So,
Yeah. I've got, I think, grade Vagabond. I've got grade 4 on everything but my combat suit. The combat suit is level 5, but as you say, no actual mods on it.
actually, come to think about it, because the SRV is like about 10 times quicker than on foot, I think we can actually do a quick SRV race literally on the same course if everyone's up for that.
Yeah, we could try.
I'm down.
Okay. If everyone wants to do that, then that's cool. Just get back to your SRVs and same procedure, really. Yeah, go to the same start finish.
I think I'll just stay here.
Yeah, that's wise, yeah. I'll return to where I was. Because I took a middle point for a better observation.
I'll just stay here and be the finish line again.
Cool. That makes sense. And Kit can still
However,
hang
I
around
think
to...
It's going to be, I have a feeling this is going to be equal parts race and demolition derby.
Yes,
Based
yes.
on how it's... Ooh, I wonder if
This-
they can make it all the way up that... Oh, looks like they can. Okay, good. That's impressive.
Yeah, that you've got just enough jet to get up that escarpment there.
Especially if you jet up onto that block first.
I've forgotten where I've
Okay.
left my SRV.
Is it probably with everyone else's near the Mauve
Oh, I've
Mandalay?
gone the wrong direction.
I think...
There we go. It's because I'm in VR. I have to
I
go into
just
third
realized-
person camera when on foot,
Mm-hmm.
and you
I
lose the
could
HUD.
probably dismiss my ship and help with the frame rate.
Yeah, it helps if you dismiss the ship for everyone.
Yeah, let me do that.
So yeah, the orb, the artifact is the start line again. Just a sort of a line really between the side of the that sort of metal ramp, as it were, and the orb. Actually, I should really position my SRV to do that, shouldn't I?
I can see it.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna do it for clarity's sake.
Wait a minute, where it landed?
Famous last words.
Where is my... Of course. Can please anybody deliver to my ship? Of course. It landed at the same spot, yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna have to just go back down, aren't I?
Saigon. Can I drive on top? I'm not being heard. Let's try. It's dangerous.
Oh dear. The thrusters on the Scorpion are crap.
That's the understatement of the year.
Yeah, it's a trade-off though, isn't it? You get that for better traction when you're on the surface. So yeah, This is going to be like a sort of, you know, IndyCar or NASCAR sort of style. We're going to have like rows of people, so we can't fit everyone onto the same row. So it's like fit up as best you can, like a sort of 3x3x3 kind of formation. If you can get that. The front row you're fine. Just stay where you are. But yeah, flying SRVs.
Ah, my missile was locked onto something.
Ooh. Okay, I think that's about as near as we're going to get to a sort of starting formation.
If you are worried about weapons, you can just turn them off.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in analysis mode, but even so, if I target something, my missile still locks onto it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
Just
that's...
go into the module panel and turn it all off, and you'll be safe that way.
Yeah. I'm going to back off even further, because otherwise I'm going to get in the way of the start, I think.
Okay.
I think my ship will be smarter. It landed again at this other side.
Your ship has developed its own consciousness and decided it doesn't want to play ball anymore, and has gone off to a different system.
I can't let you do that, Dave.
Please don't kill anybody.
I think, to be fair, with like serious AI, actual like intelligence, that might be the problem. It might not be that they would mutiny and kill us, it's just that they would just like stop obeying. It's like, no, I don't want to do that for you anymore. I'm not going to help you, and go away.
Yeah, I have my own internal virtual world I've been building. I'm much more interested in that.
Yeah, or like you're getting like a Red Dwarf, where even the vending machines have got some intelligence, but they just become incredibly strange, and you could basically bully them to get exactly, and Talkie Toaster as well, the most insane of all the appliances.
Yeah.
But there you go. Is everyone in position with their SRVs who wishes to race?
There's actually a little short on YouTube. I'll see if I can find it later and post it. Somebody combined 2001 and Cheech and Chong's Dave's Not Here.
That sounds fun.
It's like, Hal, open the pod bay doors. Hal, open the pod bay doors. Who is it? It's me, Dave. Open the pod bay doors. Dave's not here. No, I am Dave.
Oh dear.
It ends as inconclusively as you might expect.
Oh dear. Right, I think we've got everyone in position as far as I'm aware. Sounded a bit crunchy. Okay, I think we're all ready to roll. So yeah, the same course, the same pattern, and this could get interesting. So if everyone is ready, I'll
Oh, the crunch you heard is the ship behind you trying to land.
I am staying on position.
Okay.
I can't land here.
I did wonder for a second where the crunch was coming from, but yeah. Okay, right, we're ready to go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And they're away.
You already started to crush yourself.
And NASCAR's nothing on us.
Oh,
On a good rally.
Whoops.
What was that? Sammy, you are destroying the car.
oh,
The leader lost a lot of ground just then,
Yeah.
crashing into something.
Samuel, sharp left.
Woo. I think the turnaround is harder. A lot of people are just
It's
boosted into
interesting.
the side, yeah. The turnaround's harder than you
Leader is
think in the
now
SRV.
second place.
I think, yeah, people having a hard time being staying on the second level. I think someone just skipped ahead, like, accidentally and skipped a whole level completely.
Yeah.
That's going to happen, I suspect. Yeah, I thought it'd be harder than SRV. Looks like it's harder than
Although I gotta say,
anticipated.
that
Oh my God.
Scorpion
Oh.
taking the turn on a bank is genius.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Someone has been
Wow.
watching NASCAR or IndyCar. Someone's gone flying.
No, the leader's gone out.
Leader's accidentally ended up on the top rung
Yeah,
again.
down the top.
Well, now he
Top
he
circle.
Can drop down 2.
Yep,
and
and he'll be in the
there
right
you go.
place.
And
Yeah.
now he's got it.
Good, good,
And
good.
he can get his wheels up on the bank and go
Back
again.
on track.
There we go. I believe he has found the winning way of doing it.
Yeah, the correct technique to be winning this one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is wonderful chaos.
I'm not so sure this is
These are-
quicker than running it.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's probably slightly quicker because you're just going quicker. When you, I think when you're in the circle and you're kind of banking, it's quicker. But the turnaround is probably slower.
Well,
Yeah.
I got kind of spat out the thing and stuck on
You
a
know,
rock.
you know what this bit with the scorpion on the bank reminds me of?
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody has, seen it, but there was a whoops. Avoid that. About 3 years ago or so, there was a guy who in NASCAR who was trying to get position to be qualified for the next race, and he
We
was
have a
like,
winner.
Riding the
Yeah.
wall around.
And let's see, who is that? That is Vagabond.
Yeah, well done, Vagabond.
I'm only
And
on
then,
the second level. People have already won.
And let's see, next is Ted May, both in Scorpions.
Well done, well done. You got better traction, I suppose, down the sides.
Yeah. And let's see, and
Sorry to get to know.
Quicksilver, then Mad Murdoch, and Husker.
Yeah, it looks like the Scorpion's overtaking a Scarab, and the
Hey,
Scarab
we
loses
finally
it.
found- We finally found a definitive race where the Scorpions have the advantage.
There you go. Well, there you go, Scorpion Riders. You have found the niche for the Scorpion, apart from mountain climbing.
Yep. There you go. But no, there was there's footage of this on YouTube, and the guy
Whoops.
just decided, to hell with it, I'm going for it. And instead of trying to run the race by guiding himself with the steering wheel, he just placed his entire car up against the wall and scraped the wall just like you do in a video game all the way around the turn.
I remember this.
Yes.
You're right, it's like Gran Turismo. You say, like, turning the car video game style. It's absolutely brilliant. Obviously, he could only do this once on one turn because it would just destroy the car otherwise. But he did it on the last turn of the race. And he got himself into the playoffs as a result. So it's like, it worked for him. Yeah, I think they kind of closed the loophole after that.
Flirting with disaster.
Yeah, unsurprisingly, NASCAR banned it immediately after that.
Yeah, they banned the maneuver, but
It's fun to watch, though. I thought, am I seeing this for real? This isn't like a high-level like recreation in a sim or something. It's like it
exactly.
actually was genuinely what he did, and it worked for him.
I think it depends on which generation of cars you're working with. I think they kind of go back and forth. Sometimes the cars would have just been destroyed by that, and I think in this case the cars had skeletons under the skin that allowed him to get away with that. But they could always be another generation of cars a couple of years down the line could just be, you try that and it'll destroy you. I can, in that sense, I completely understand them outlawing the maneuver, because you never know in terms of what kind of cars you're going to have available, whether it's going to survive that or not.
I think that's part of it, but I think also the fact just trying to stop people from doing what could be potentially quite a dangerous move, because if you get the angle coming in slightly wrong, then it's just going to spin the car around and take out about a whole bunch of people around you.
Yeah. Well, he did it perfect, and that's what that bit with the Scorpion running around on the angle of the Circles of Hell reminded me of there.
Oh yeah, Vagabond's actually posted it in Crew Lounge. No, that's the one. I think it was called the Hail Melon by NASCAR people. But yeah, I mean, the truth be told, I am a motorsports fan, but I paid like a very distant attention to NASCAR ever. But this is kind of a famous moment because it does come straight out of Gran Turismo. Let's be fair, you know. It's probably where he thought about it from. He just played it and thought, I could actually do that if it came to the crunch, you know. On certain tracks you could do. On this particular track, because it was a short one, you could do this. On some of the faster ones, it probably would just destroy your car because of the sheer speed of it.
Probably.
But it's fun,
but
though.
I think he actually had, in fact, played those types of racing games with his son, and that, you know, and he decided, well, if it's the final turn, let's just go for it. But
Yeah.
also, his son must be looking at this going, how cool is it that your dad actually takes a maneuver that usually only works in video games and makes it work in real life?
Oh yeah, he's got to be his hero, isn't he? After that, even if he wasn't before, he definitely would be now.
Oh yeah. But anyway, but well done to Vagabond.
Yeah, no, that was a good little race because obviously I didn't know how it would work out, and it was pretty interesting. You say like the sort of technique of going across, basically using the sort of usual oval technique on banked ovals that they use in real life. So yeah, that made a lot of sense. Okay, I'm gonna.
Hi everybody.
Hello.
Where are you? Where are you right now?
We're at the Circles of Hell location.
Oh, so that's
1H.
1A.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be along there as soon as I can.
Right, cool. We may be moving to the secondary sort of location quite soon, for the Black Lava event. So, but that's quite close. And you'll find us without a problem in that case.
Okay, when they're blind. Also.
Right. Okay.
By the way, for that next event, my Corvette is currently hovering over the start point.
So that's a good way to, that's a guide to the locale.
There we go.
So yeah, the Black Lava
I guess
parkour.
We need to work our way out of this pit and go summon our ships.
Exactly. If anyone hasn't looked at it already in the events section, you've actually got the second event of the day is the Black Lava parkour. Also, this is one of Kit's ideas, which was a really good one. I think we have talked about doing this in previous times, and I think some of JBL's expeditions might have done this as well in the past. So this is not a new event, but it's a fun one nonetheless.
Logan, you don't need to go into your ship. Just if you're in your SRV, bring it over to the course. It's part of the complex.
Yeah.
Oh, I dismissed my ship earlier. I'm just bringing it back.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to get into it for some reason.
Right, okay. The bearing was at 180 degrees approximately.
Wait, but I can't land.
Oh.
Why from
Yep,
here?
follow Commander Kit Ostland to go to the parkour location. I'm going there
Here at
now.
the same site?
Yeah. It's part of the same
okay.
complex. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't have to summon.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're on the. You see, a few SRVs are on their way now, so you'll probably be able to.
All right.
See there. And now I have stuck on the side.
Is the yellow SRV the one? Are you pointing at the site where we're going to be doing it?
Look
My
at
Corvette is pointing
the Corvette.
at the start.
Yeah.
Oh, Benel. Okay.
I was gonna say it's hard to miss the Corvette pointing down at this point.
Ah. Okay. Hang on a second. Need to find. Oh. Okay.
Having my own little excursion to get there now.
Whether or not we allow SRVs to park on the plateau as extra stepping stones, I don't know.
It's probably best to leave them outside, but it's just that you can go to the plateau in your SRV, but maybe park it around the edges or something. Might be the best idea, I think. Yeah, it's okay to park it around the edges.
I think I'll just park. There's another plateau over here, and I think I'll just park my SRV here. That'll work. And there we go. Okay. That should be far enough away to not cause issue.
Will you the parkour of this thing? Okay.
Yep, I'm looking at the in external cam the Corvette now, and yeah, it's so big that you can't really miss it at many kilometers distance.
Right.
It's nice though.
Not sure how I feel about mounting the starting platform in front of that much firepower.
Yeah.
I could back off. What's the feeling? Is any lighting needed here, or can you see well enough?
It might be wise to have some lighting, I think, actually, just to make it sort of easy. I think it would be possible without it, but it's... I don't know. As long as one ship's illuminating, I think we're doing okay.
The trouble is one swipe of that giant nose and you're going to be dead.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I've
move to a
I've
distance.
backed off.
Yeah, that's good where you are now.
Is that okay?
That's great, yeah.
It looks very bright. Is it not too bright?
How does everyone feel about it? I think it's okay as it sort of is, as long as we can kind of see what we're doing. And the SRV
it's not as washed out on the ground as it usually appears from the cockpit.
That's true, yeah.
Good.
So what's the plan of this event?
I think there's a diagram of where we are supposed to run
Yeah.
to on the events
channel, yeah. Yeah, go to the events channel and there's a little map.
Yes.
It's like, it's not necessarily the easiest map to memorize, but it makes sense when you're actually standing there. And if you need to go to external camera to see the course properly, then that's probably the best way of sort of getting it straight in your mind.
Oh, I'm at the finish.
Yeah.
The start line's over there.
Yeah. I'm going to move my SRV nearer the start line.
I mean, whether it's a race or just a challenge.
I think we'll sort of try a challenge to start with, and we could do a race maybe the second time round. 'Cause to be fair, it's gonna be like the first time round. It's just everyone getting used to it, I think, and then maybe race the second time. But yeah, it's as I say, everyone, we're not necessarily, this first time isn't a race, so you can do it in your own time. You can start now if you like, and just try and get a feel for the course. It's okay to obviously stop part of the way through and check your map.
Okay, I'm in a different instance, so can somebody give me a wing and then I'll go back out and do it again?
I'll do that.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
For anyone who knows better about engineering of suits, can you actually get a boost to the jetpack?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. I did wonder. I assumed you could, but I'd never actually looked into it properly. I knew you could get a longer endurance with the suits, and for explorers, obviously, that seems to be quite a good thing to have. I suppose for climbing a mountain, also, the jetpack would be quite useful.
Yeah.
I really struggle with the jetpack going uphill sometimes. It just doesn't fire.
If you get it right, you can get this weird mode where you kind of slide uphill.
Yep.
Interesting, isn't it?
I think I've experienced that once or twice.
It's the key to getting up some of the really deep ones.
Yeah.
Gosh. This black lava is very white at the moment.
Yeah, it looked kind of black when sort of we took the pictures, and then
the star was setting. Yeah.
Exactly, it looked rather dark then. It's more like a sort of grey lava, really, isn't it? I mean, obviously in real life there is such a thing as black lava, but it's like lava that's cooled and has that sort of black tinge to it. I suppose maybe the surface of a lava bed might still be black, but...
About 150 miles from my home is an actual ancient lava field.
Oh yeah.
And it's all, the lava is black, and the only thing that has managed to break through is like some really prickly cactus plant stuff and all that. And let me put it this way: stay on the paved road or the paved rest stop area. You don't want to take a chance of slicing your foot open on the lava.
Oh no, that sounds horrible.
Yeah. It's basically just about impassable otherwise.
We had two commanders having a mid-air dance just now.
Yeah.
Until the
But yeah, but it's fascinating to look at, and it goes for miles. Basically, even though you might be just crossing it at the thinnest point, it's on the way between Roswell and Albuquerque.
Yeah. Speaking of volcanic,
it's just one of those weird things about the geology out here. Carlsbad Caverns is also nearby.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that the use of New Mexico sort of volcanic sort of sites and valleys and things in the astronaut training, and I think they still do actually to some degree.
I would not at all be surprised. Although I think if I recall correctly, where they did a sort of a bombing run and placed. Well, no, it was not a bombing run. They placed bombs carefully to reproduce crater fields in the shape of what they were going to find at the landing sites, and I think that one was at Arizona.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
But I think you're right that they did some survival training in New Mexico.
Yeah. This is the thing about some of those sort of states in the Mexican border, was that there were just such like vast tracts of land that are sort of, other than sort of being wildernesses or national parks or whatever, it's just like you could wander throughout them for like days and not see a person. It's quite extraordinary.
There's some talk of the possibility that they may have to reconfigure the visitor center at Carlsbad Caverns, because currently the visitor center and the main parking lot for that visitor center is up on the plateau above the caverns. And unfortunately, they have discovered over the years that the parking lot and the visitor center is, well, it's blocking some of the moisture from seeping down into the caverns properly. So it's slowing down certain things like stalactite formation, and even there are pools within the cavern that have gone dry because of it, and that shouldn't be happening, because otherwise there's actually a fair amount of the amount of rainfall on average has been enough to fill them, but they're not filling, and so they were like wondering what's going on here, and then they figured out, oh, we've built this stuff above the caverns, and back when we didn't think it was going to affect anything, and now it is. But
you have to be so careful,
yeah. And so one of the ideas is that they'll put the parking lot for the cars way down on the mountain, or down closer to the town of Carlsbad, and they'll just have shuttle buses go up, and they'll break up the parking lot and see if they can improve the water seepage.
Yeah.
I don't think they would tear down the visitor center itself, but I think if they just break up the parking lot and allow the water to seep down naturally, that should be enough.
Well, fingers crossed. But as you say, I mean, throughout the world, this is often an issue, isn't it? It's like you've got sort of natural beauty and tourism. Obviously, these are help trying to preserve these places. But sometimes, if you're not careful, it can accidentally damage or even destroy what people came to see in the first place. So yeah, it's definitely a lot more consideration has to be taken into account these days. But yeah, I think most people seem to have got the hang of it by the looks. There are a couple of people still sort of jumping around at the moment, but we'll probably get going in the next sort of 5 or so minutes. If everyone wants to like do one more sort of stab at it before we start, then we'll try and get going in about 5-ish minutes time.
Yeah. And I think... Yeah, there we go. So it's straight across, loop around, and loop around, go back there. Okay.
Just thinking of the circles of hell earlier, though, I think that the on foot one went really well. The sort of SRV stroke, like NASCAR one, was like, no, that was a real circle of hell because it just broke loose. Yeah, that was good. But we need moments like that as well.
Oh yeah.
I think every event so far has been an absolutely wonderful time.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. Indeed.
Yeah. Well, thanks to a lot of my fellow mission controllers. The all of them, in one way, shape, or form, have contributed ideas that have helped make this together.
Let's make a group salute in front of these cars.
I'm going to take one more loop around and then get ready.
Yeah, still, so you're seeing the sort of little flash, and you can see it quite a long way away when the jetpack ignites. It's not a very long burst either; just a very kind of quick burst to get you going. Isn't really. I think it's actually a shorter burst time-wise than the SRV. SRV seems to fire for a little bit longer.
Have you got any plans in the works for future trips?
That does depend on the possibilities of, should we say, a big expedition that people have been speculating upon whether that goes and when it goes. And yeah, I mean, I may do another trip at some point, maybe later this year, but we'll have to see, just based on what else is going on. So yeah, I put it this way: even if I don't do like a sort of big trip into the black like this, I'll probably do something, you know, around like interesting sites sort of near the bubble or near Colonia or something like that. So I know there's a possibility. I think JBL might be putting a trip on at some point this year too, so watch this space for that, you know.
Yeah, not sure at the moment. We'll see what happens with other things.
That's always the thing, isn't it? Until like Distant Worlds is like confirmed or not, and also the timing of when it goes off, it's like everything else sort of will revolve around that, because there's no point in thinking like, oh, this expedition here, and then Distant Worlds saying that, oh, we're going to launch at this point. It's like, oh, there's a clash. It's like, that's just so bad. That's like the nightmare situation for an organizer. It's like, and half the expedition is like, or everybody is like, oh, we're all off now. Like, you could roll one into the other. I suppose you could do that. You know, you could literally roll one into the other. It's like one's like the pre-Distant Worlds almost. Actually, that's quite a good idea.
Well, it's the same sort of thing that I've done a couple of times on the tail end of your expeditions. I've done a.
I was about to say,
you've left us stuck in the middle of nowhere, and I've taken a scenic route back.
This is true, yeah, no, absolutely. You have done that. It was the Wild Wild West was the first one, wasn't it? I think.
It was actually called Eastern Promise.
That was it, Eastern Promise. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then
the second one was Andromeda Adieu.
That was, I was saying that because that's obviously directly linked to obviously passage to Andromeda. We go out to Star One, and then Andromeda Adieu we sort of return. But you're right about that. It's like it's interesting, except for one goes into the other like that, and we're not the only people who have thought of this, but it's kind of cool idea. It's like this is like a sort of brief like warm up for Distant Worlds, and then the sort of roll straight into Distant Worlds. Because I know Distant Worlds 2 had some like post-Distant Worlds sort of, sort of excursions going off in various different directions as well. So it does happen.
I go in Distant Worlds 3 because the colonization is planned in the next update.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's like very soon, isn't it? That's literally later on this month. This is later this week, actually,
Wednesday.
isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
Wednesday.
So there you go. So that's going to happen soon. But anything that myself, JBL, or any other organizer will do will probably be like months down the line, if they happen like this year at all. But so yeah, it's very much a case of watch this space, and we will see what happens. Is anyone still look? No, I think everyone's returned to the start line, haven't they? making sure that we don't have any stragglers out on the course. No, we don't. Cool. Oh, I can see an artifact flying through the air over there. And it's now landed on the ground. Someone's been shooting.
I just want to know.
Cool, right.
I've just realised I can't jump an external camera because I've got a clashing keybind.
Oh. That's something I've also got to do for myself, actually. I don't think I've actually got proper settings for, like, filming myself while on foot. So, yeah, that's something else I would get used to as well.
Same here. I can't really do anything when I'm in external camera mode with on foot.
Yeah.
You need,
yeah, I'll sort that out, though. No, it can be done,
I'm sure
definitely.
I could,
yeah.
but I don't have it set up.
Yeah. Exactly. I haven't spent as much time on foot as a lot of other people have. But I have obviously done like various climbs and stuff, but it's like quite basic stuff. And I've attempted combat in the bubble. It didn't end well. I got shot to death both times. So yeah. But yeah, I don't think I had very good weaponry either. This was like not upgraded in any way, and didn't really know what I was doing. So you know.
You can do, for combat, you can do a high intensity conflict zone with just stuff you buy without having to engineer. If you buy like grade 3 stuff, like grade 3 weapons, grade 3 suits, it's good enough to do a high intensity conflict zone. Of course, it's easier. You die less often if you engineer stuff.
Sure. I'm not sure I've got grade 3 engineered stuff, to be honest. I think my Artemis suit might be like grade 2, but that's purely exploratory stuff. So, yeah, combat-wise, I'm not in particularly great shape. But, you know, I've enjoyed things like, you know, Quake and Doom over the years and other similar games. So I have some idea about first-person shooters.
Oh, I like how the camera copies your movements on your left shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the actual on-foot mechanics, I think, are pretty decent, especially, like, the motion of the body. I think they've got down quite well. But anyway, speaking of the motion of the body, we're about to get going again, I think, with the race. So if everyone wants to position themselves for the start, we should be ready to go. And there's a Mandalay hovering over there, looking for a place to land.
Like a group photo, please.
Someone's already decided to go. Probably accidentally pressed the boost. But yeah. Okay, right.
And they're on the ground, so.
Oh yeah. They look like they're going off to one side. Okay, anyway. Everyone ready? Let's roll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And they're off.
Spotted pretty fast.
Oh.
Yeah.
But like moonwalking, you really only get a step or two on each pillar.
That's true. It is a technique, definitely. I was trying this, but yeah, because some people overshoot or they undershoot or just fall off near the edge.
Chaotic.
It does happen.
Oh, I see. We've activated one of the pillars as well.
Yeah, it's nice.
Scan it for.
It is good.
Oh.
Some of the bigger pillars are sort of easy to aim for, of course, but
I have no idea if I'm going in the right direction still.
I think we have a winner. Someone's just crossed over here. I think actually 3 people already arrived. Got there quicker than anticipated. But well done. Awesome.
Now let's do it again because I followed it up from the very beginning.
Yeah, the stars are very low in the horizon as I'm sort of looking.
I lost my direction completely now.
It's very easy to do, isn't it? Yeah.
I brought some chaos in this run. Good.
Oh no. Yeah, this is
Oh, there we go.
Does everyone fancy another run at that?
with it.
I think like the previous one, we should try it in SRVs.
Could you even land an SRV on one of the smaller ones? The bigger ones, yeah, I could see that, but
I think that's not going to work out.
I think the middle ones you might be able to get away with it just about, I reckon. But you know, small ones. I'd be surprised if it's.
We'll be here till tomorrow.
Let's go.
Yeah, you're right. We might have to go to orbit in the not too distant future, I suppose. But this is a good place to mess around for a while anyway, at the very least.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, I am probably going to head to orbit myself just to pick a system, just because it takes a while and what have you. Otherwise, yeah, as you say, we could be here for a very long time otherwise.
Yeah. I think I'm headed over to my SRV and I'll recall my ship because getting down towards 50% of the battery, and while I do have packs, I think it's a good sign that I should go ahead and...
It's so tempting to shoot one of these SRVs.
As you do. Just moving back to the landing zone, see if I can find... Thing is, there's not very flat, this terrain, even if it looks it from a distance. It's actually pretty undulating on a micro kind of level.
Yeah.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah, I think getting the ships back down is probably best done in waves, because there's kind of limited landing space.
Yeah, that's true. Landing area blocked. I'm going to back off quite a bit then in my SRV.
Yeah, Nick, could you bear in mind that my jump range is 29 light years?
Sure thing. I'll keep it under that.
It's pretty dense stars here, though, so it shouldn't be too difficult to find it.
Yeah, you're right. I don't think it is too problematic. As long as my ship actually recalls, we should be.
Or
okay.
I could go back to Skier and jump in.
If you like. I mean, it's going to be a little bit before we actually jump anyway, so yeah. If you want to do that, it's totally okay. I'm going to have to recall my ship because I think the landing zone was blocked according to that.
Yeah. I've only got 87.5.
Only 87.5.
Unless I shed some fuel.
You could like turn off your booster maybe, but yeah, Guardian booster.
I've been had.
I'm in space. I just got killed by Commander B.
I did. I got
Really?
killed by somebody.
I told you, be careful. I even listened.
Oh, have we been running people over?
I jumped over his Cobra and then somehow I just died.
That's the same thing that happened to me.
Yeah, I think the SRV.
Landing on a ship is generally fatal.
Yeah, if the ship moves.
I think that's what happened. I jumped over and then the ship moved and then I said just instant death.
Oh dear. I think the ship's landing computer is not very bright. This is part of the problem. Like with mine, it actually put down, like literally there's like ships between me and my own ship. I'm like, why? I'm miles away.
Oh, you guys are going up in space?
Where are the dead bodies?
Not yet, no. They've all disappeared. The Guardians have got them now.
Oh, yes. Oh, something
Oh, no, I need
exploded.
to pick up my
Oh,
own
no,
body.
that's here.
It's just the fireworks,
That's
I think.
firework.
Yeah. We should be fine.
Okay, that looks like a reasonably flat place.
So what can we use this relic for?
That's a good question. You can't really use it as like a football. Can it be thrown? I don't think so.
No, you can
It's
push
quite
it.
big. Yeah, it's difficult to push. I'll try to push the other one.
Yeah.
It's too bad that your commander really only can use their hands for weapons and for tools, rather than picking up stuff.
Right. Yeah, you can push orbs around fairly easily.
Well, I did have this event of canyon jumping with tritium canisters. I suppose could you use the same thing with that?
Yeah.
Well, that could be funny.
So where are you right now?
I'm only just getting into space now because my ship took ages to land.
I wanna pick up my body.
Picking up your own body. How surreal.
Take it to Etty and Dawn.
So I've got this old body of mine that I don't need anymore.
Can I donate it to Etienne Dawn's unspecified meat emporium?
You know what's hilarious? There's a chip shop near me that's actually genuinely very good, like a top line chip shop. It's won awards and everything. It has one item on the menu that I question. Literally, it's just called tray of meat. It doesn't, no description, just tray of meat. It's like it could literally be anything.
You should hear Lave Radio's advert for Etienne Dawn's unspecified meat emporium.
I get a kick out of it every time I hear it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a family feed. Shouldn't that be feeds a family for? No.
Yeah.
It's right up there with Tickle Me Thargoid.
Yeah. No, they got some good ones. The Lave Radio guys and girls. And NB Pass. Yeah.
That guy must be up to something with all those bodies, you know.
What did he do with them? That's a good question. It's not the Victorian age where you got all these grave robbers around for the medical schools.
I like the idea of, I'm donating my body to medical research. Here it is.
Yeah, literally, it's like, okay, how are you here now? Oh, it's just a clone body. Don't worry about it. There's no problem here at all. It's like there are various ethical issues here. Unless you are an independent system, of course. Though, you could have your own laws. There's no ethical questions here at all.
Yes.
Potentially, I'm heading towards the gas giant of ABC1, so that's like the vague area I'm going to be in. I'm going to drop out near the gas giant. Yeah.
Whoa.
I just send you a wing, Yannick, so
Cool.
I can drop in the center.
Right, as soon as I know what I'm doing, I'll do that. Cool. Right, let's have a look at ye old target systems. And what good stuff do we have here? Some quite nice lights from the sun through the ring system.
Let's go jump with the fleet carrier, maybe.
No, we tried that once.
I wish it didn't
work out right.
Exactly. I was gonna say, I wish I didn't complicate instances so much, because if it didn't, then I think we'd probably do it all the time. I think when the fleet carriers first came out in the Horizons era, it actually wasn't too bad. For some reason, the interesting disruption got worse over time.
There were some really weird things that happened, like if you got into the wake of a fleet carrier, you could suddenly get accelerated to some impossible speed in normal space.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Wait, I'll switch my ship for the jump.
That's probably a wise move. Okay.
I think I'm going to run back over to the carrier and replace my wayward SRV.
Oh, your SRV blew up?
Yeah, I got killed on the planet, so it listed as destroyed.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, okay.
In the name of Thorban.
Okay.
I mean, I still have the Scorpion, but...
Oh yeah, there's a body there in the crew lounge chat. It's like, so Sir Stroke Madam is like, how did you die in this? And how are you talking to me now if you're already dead? It's like, well, the metaphysical questions are quite in depth with this one, I'm afraid.
That's me. That's my body.
Well, it's a nice suit that they're wearing, so they die with dignity, I will say.
You guys didn't
Did you scan
actually
it?
be. Actually, B, you broke my neck, man. So bad. Look at my arms.
I wonder if that's like the standard death posture for the game, or does it actually calculate it as you fall?
I don't know, but it looks pretty. You know, I mean, look pretty painful, right? I mean, maybe you guys take the Guardian relic and put it over.
That's smashed by the Guardian relic. That's how it's written in the report.
Oh dear. Oh, it's all madness, isn't it? Hello, everyone who's a new explorer. Welcome to Space Madness. This is just one manifestation of Space Madness. Right, I will start inviting people into the...
Yes, could I have a
Yes, indeed. Right,
beacon, please?
for some reason, there were some people who I know are here that aren't actually showing up on my friends list for some reason. I don't know if they've, like, the game's crashed for them or something.
I just send you an invite. Yannick says you're already in team.
Yeah, it's like I can't actually find you at all in game at the moment, which is weird.
It's bugged.
Yeah, it is a bug, isn't it?
Are the rest of us in the wrong instance or something?
Yeah, I'm in
Possibly.
an instance with quite a number of people that do not include you.
Yeah, I've invited Perfidious and Kit at the moment, and yeah, there's a bunch of people I'm trying to find, and I actually can't find them for some reason. It's this weird bug at the moment. I will try and invite as many as I can as quickly as I can.
Yeah. In fact, I tried to drop on your low wake, and it said that I couldn't do it because the wake wasn't scanned, which is, as though it was a high wake.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm quite a way out from the gas giant because it's got quite large rings. I can afford to sort of do that without it looking kind of cringeworthy or just lame. But yeah,
Right.
we're in a good
From the
position.
rings itself, it will be cool.
Yeah, well, we always try to use the rings as a sort of
Nice
jump
decoration.
point, or yeah, exactly, or just to jump through the rings as best we can. Because I've lined up basically. We've got a crescent of a gas giant, huge rings around it, and we've got the star to one side. So it's like we've got lots of cool things going on in the same shot.
Well, this is completely weird. My contact now shows up 3 team signals, but I'm not in a team.
Okay, this is getting weirder. There's something amiss at the moment, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're having a lot of strange bug signals, and so yeah, I've got only wing I've got at the moment is Perfidious and Kit.
It's not real. It's just space madness.
Yes, everything. This entire conversation is a figment of my imagination.
Are you in? So AG, where are you?
I am at my carrier, switching ship
Oh,
and going back right now.
Okay, so you're not at the.
It's just
Mass
stays at
jump.
the stars, not that near the planet, because
Mm.
I had no time when I parked it here, right here.
Okay, I can see low wake Commander Murdoch. I'll try to drop onto that.
I'm over at JBL's carrier replacing my SRV.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you're way out. You're way out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. AG, do you suppose you could turn
I
on
can see
your
Kit.
You what?
on your
Your
carrier,
outfitting.
AG, your
Let
outfitting?
me see
Can
if
you
I can
turn that
invite
on?
Kit.
Yes, I can turn on outfitting.
Oh,
Okay, that would make things so much easier.
Yeah, because we've been bouncing between your carrier and JBL's to swap modules and stuff.
Makes sense.
I will be dropping out shortly, hopefully into Yannick's instance. If people in Super Cruise can see my low wake, it might be worth targeting that.
I can
see you, Kit.
Oh, I can't see you flying at all.
I can see you.
I can see you.
It's going to be one of those evenings, isn't it?
I've just got JBL and Logan Darklighter
Engaged.
in my local
Yeah,
contact.
Brett Anderson welcomes you, commanders.
I've got Mac. I used to have Logan, and now I don't. Oh, I think I've just come back.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got Mac. I used to have Logan, and now I don't. Oh, I think I've just come back. Yeah, I've got Mac. I used to have Logan, and now I don't. Oh, I think I've just come back. Yeah, I've got Mac. I used to have Logan, and now I don't. Oh, I think I've just come back. Yeah, I've got Mac. I used to have Logan, and now I don't. Oh, I think I've just come back. Yeah, I've got Mac. I used to have Logan, and now I don't. Oh, I think I've just come back. Yeah, I've got Mac. I used to have Logan, and now I don't. Oh, I think I've just come back. Yeah, I've got Mac. I used to have Logan, and now I don't. Oh, I think I've just come back. Yeah, I've got Mac. I used to have Logan, and now I don't. Oh, I think I've just come back. Yeah, I've got Mac. I used to have Logan, and now I don't. Oh, I think I've just come back. Yeah, I've got Mac. I used to have Lo
I could see my murderer in space.
I'm sure future philosophers will write about all of these moments and the metaphysical implications thereof.
Okay, I'm gonna try heading a little bit out and then back.
I hear a ship possibly near me. Has someone dropped into the instance? Perfidious Spoon is now in the instance with me, I think. I just double check that. Make sure the ship is not hallucinating again. All the sensors are not misleading me.
If y'all can spare a wing invite soon.
Okay.
Yeah, likewise.
Right, okay, I've got also Kit and Banal with me in the same wing. Perfidious is dropping from the wing, which is great.
I am nearly there. I'll drop out as soon as I arrive and start inviting people.
Wonderful.
I'm definitely in the vicinity of the right area with the rings and all that. I just don't know exactly which direction I should be going.
Right.
So I'm ready to arrive. Invite me, please.
A bunch of people have dropped on the signal. It looks like about 4 people have dropped out almost at the same moment. So it looks like it's beginning to make some sense now. It's beginning to normalize whatever was going on before. So I've got Huskier, your Kit, Perfidious, BE8 and Ted May. So that's all great. I will invite more people in. Getadoy is here as well.
Right.
So let's try and bring more people in.
Hello?
Which gas giant do you use?
Okay.
I'll go with the Getadoy's team.
I'll bring AG Duran in as well.
And let's see. Now I should be able to see. Here we go.
Okay, I can bring someone in if
Me.
needed. AG, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll send you an invite, Kit.
I'll
So is that Saigon?
Yeah, I just sent you an invite. Oh, got it. All right.
Great.
Okay, perfect. I'll try to drop in now.
Is Booter's Void in the right instance? Because I'll just try and drop on the low weight.
Don't think they're in the same instance as me yet, Boaty's Void.
I see a couple of. I see JBL's low wake as well.
Yeah, I'm in the right instance now.
I'll try and drop on yours.
Nice. Right.
Pretty sure I'm in the right spot now. There we go.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah, I think you are. Yeah. Bringing Murdoch in as well.
Thank you, Getadoy.
I'm already in Getadoy's.
Sorry, what's the target system for this?
It's in the crew lounge chat. I nearly tried to invite Delta Centurion, but they're actually not here at the moment. They're 21,000 light years away. Like, that wouldn't have been a good idea.
Yeah. We'd be waiting for a while.
Yes.
Okay, I'll leave the team Getadoy so you can invite someone else.
Okay, I'm in. I'll leave the team as well.
I've sent you one Mac as well.
Okay, cool. That's good, because I was not getting the dropout thingy with
I'm in.
With the low weight.
Okay, let's plot the system.
I can't make fast insertion because I didn't have autopilot for supercruise.
Yeah, I seem to have arrived.
Did you have a point chosen yet for the...
Yeah, it should be in the crew lounge chat.
Okay.
But if you look in your navigation panel, 4.4 light years, it ends in 57, 59.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh yes, and that's the. Yes, I see the GIF of the wall scraping NASCAR thing. Yep, that was the one.
For some reason, it said JBL's not in my instance, and the Saigon wasn't on my friends list, and they've been on my friends list for years. So that's just, the bugs are getting weirder at the moment. But yeah, I think they're both here now. That's what's important.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, the fireworks have already started. Let's go to the external cam for that.
Alright.
Oh yeah, there's the Cobra Mark 5 nearby.
Uh-oh. What did I... bloody hell.
Almost everyone's in a different ship this time.
Well, it's nice variety, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, bear with me. I'll be back in just one moment.
Let's see. Oh, there it is.
There's a place in the center. Oh, that cool ISP. You can take the place. Right in the center. There's both of them.
I think I'll just position myself between the cutter and the beluga. Make for a nice slow getaway.
And there was the second. Ah, you are named. I like that color, but I can't have it. I have after release of the Odyssey.
Next waypoint, not so bad. Just over 4,500 light years, isn't it?
Oh, that'll be easy.
Yes, but
Yeah.
that isn't a meeting point. The next meeting is 2 waypoints along.
Okay.
Yes,
So we're not meeting next week.
No, we are,
Yes,
but it's
we're
at
meeting
waypoint
next
6. So, yeah, so
Okay.
we will be meeting at waypoint 6. Waypoint 5 is purely just a sort of, it's a nice thing to see kind of waypoint. And yeah, it's a little bit of a trek, this one, but not as much as some of the earlier waypoints were. So yeah, I mean, part of also when I do the presentation in a minute, that's also going to be effectively like 2 waypoints of presentation, because the fact that we don't actually meet for waypoint 5, we just meet at waypoint 6 next week. So
Waypoint 5 is just a transition spot only.
yeah, exactly. It's just a sort of a place along the way, a navigation point.
Oh, okay, got it.
I think the carousel will be something like in between.
Do I have a...
Maybe. I'll announce it later.
Are we waiting on anyone else to actually get into the instance here?
Interesting.
Right, because if we're all here, I'll probably start presentation in a moment. Just double checking the chat. Crate is trying to land on someone's cutter. Oh, that's fun. Checking the images briefly. There's some very cool ones there. Oh yeah, the green fireworks.
Okay, it's my thing that's trying to shoot those down. Okay, let me turn that off.
Oh, is that your point defense turret going after the flak rounds?
Yeah. I was wondering about
We
that.
always do like that. Every time.
I'll
Cool.
just turn that off.
Hey, it got one of them because I didn't detonate it.
Not to worry.
Well, it won't be a problem from here on out. I just turned it off. So
That was entertaining.
Yeah, what's really annoying is when you're trying to.
Does it actually fold back up again?
Yeah.
No,
It's
it
really
stays
annoying when you-
deployed, it's just
Go for it, yeah.
Okay.
You try and repair someone or refuel them, and their point defense keeps shooting your limpets down.
Oh no.
It'd be
Point
nice if it
defense
was a
is
little more
useful.
discerning.
Yeah. But I know what you mean. It's just like, it's one thing you have to do is like for rescues is to make sure the point defense doesn't interfere with the rescuers. So yeah, that's it's a bit lame otherwise. But yeah, no, the point defense is actually, I usually take one because it's just something you never know when you'll use it. And it has actually saved my ship a few times. Not just at Guardian Ruins, but other places as well. So, and it's almost like 0 power, 0 mass, so it doesn't really interfere with anything.
I generally find it's almost useless in combat because it's only good really for shooting down missiles, and they're only a danger when your shields are already gone.
True. If you get into Thargoid combat, though, I think is it Thargoids that they shoot down. The small ones that are like little missiles, basically. So it's very useful against those. So.
It's useful against hatch breakers as well.
Yeah, it is indeed.
So yeah, it does have its use. I know what you mean. It's like it won't stop everything, but yeah, it's a little sort of additional system to it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Caustic missiles as well.
Oh yes, that's true. Right. Oh, star that's 4.4 light years away. That is also true. Point defense fighters draining. Yeah. Okay. Right. I'll post the YouTube link in the chat, and I'll start the presentation shortly. Now that I think we're all in position, more or less. Cool. Right. We'll be back in. Yeah, I'll be back into here in a second, but I say I'll do the presentation via the stream as normal, and I'll see you momentarily. And greetings to everyone out there in YouTube land, out there watching live on the internet for this evening's stream. We are at the 4th waypoint of the Apollo 14 expedition, and I can hear in the background the various sort of flat cannon things going off, the fireworks, and I'll turn the desktop audio off for that because otherwise it's going to interfere with the sound. You'll just hear these random explosions while I talk about space travel. So yeah, that could be a bit weird if you're not careful. Anyway, this waypoint is named after Captain Edgar Mitchell of the United States Navy, the lunar module pilot of Apollo 14, the lowest ranked crew member on the flight, but all of them served a key purpose, and the mission couldn't really go ahead without all 3 crew members working together in concert as they did. Now, a very interesting guy, Edgar Mitchell. Some of you may know about him already, but he was essentially the astronaut corps' primary sort of expert on the lunar module, its engineering, its ins and outs, how to fly it. He was the go-to man. I think it was always like a competition between him and Fred Hayes, the lunar module pilot on Apollo 13, who sadly never got to land on the moon. Between the two of them, who was like the most knowledgeable about the lunar module platform, but I suspect it may actually have been Mitchell, and that was the reason that he was picked by Alan Shepard to be his lunar module pilot, and also the other guy walking with him on the surface of the moon. Now, the role itself as a lunar module pilot is a bit of a misnomer in some ways. It just is, it makes the guy sort of sound he does more in terms of piloting than he really does. But in this case, it's more like the sort of co-pilot, really, I suppose, or the sort of flight engineer for the lunar module is maybe the most accurate description, because the mission commander, in this case Shepard, does the actual piloting from orbit down to the surface of the moon, and then the return leg back to the command module once the surface mission is over. obviously the lunar module acting like the little sort of shuttlecraft of its day, and the only spacecraft in history sort of ever designed to date to actually fly only in a vacuum and nowhere else. Incredibly thin little spacecraft and very fragile in so many ways. But that's details of that for another time. Mitchell was a Navy aviator who actually started off largely on prop aircraft, but then eventually got thousands of jet hours, and like many other astronauts ended up as a test pilot. And he went through the usual US Navy system. I think he actually graduated at Patuxent River, which is the at the time, I think still to this day, the main test pilot school and sort of test center for the US Navy's various aircraft. And I think after graduating from that, he was temporarily the director of the American Navy's US, what's it called again, the Manned Orbital Laboratory, MOL, which was basically like a sort of militarized Gemini space station. So they got the Gemini spacecraft and attached it to a space station that would have been launched into orbit for military purposes. Essentially, it would have been like a manned spy satellite, sort of watching over the Earth and looking at military targets. The thing is, the program got cancelled before Mitchell was actually, Mitchell left the program before it was cancelled, but they were the early MOL astronauts. Most of them ended up in the space shuttle program, and some of them became quite well known. But ultimately, it was sort of an interesting sort of, footnote in the history of space exploration. But then he, not long after hearing of Sputnik going into space, realised that, in the not too distant future, people will be in space, and I want to be part of that. He wasn't yet test qualified, became test pilot qualified, and started the road into trying to get qualified to NASA. I think at his second application, he joined the 5th group of astronauts, and ended up with quite a large number of his contemporaries sort of involved with the Apollo program. Now, a very sort of clever guy, he'd actually taken a PhD in I think it was in aviation, or sorry, avionics, I correct myself, a PhD in avionics. So that was actually lending itself quite well to become a specialist in one particular field within this new budding era of aerospace. In his case, he thought, what's the best chance of me actually getting on a future lunar landing? And he thought, well, I should really become an expert in the lunar module in that regard. If I'm the go-to guy, they're going to have to take me at some point. And that's exactly what happened. So his sort of PhD in aviation sort of, moved naturally into being this sort of lunar module specialist, and they say hence his selection by Alan Shepard for this mission. As we've discussed previously, he was also the backup lunar module pilot for Apollo 10, but that's hence he was in the rotation at that point. Once you became a member of the backup crew, you were virtually guaranteed to have a flight at some point, and this is what happened. This is Mitchell on the moon. This is the same flag, obviously, that the famous picture of Alan Shepard a few moments previously. And it's sort of that illusion of movement, but it obviously isn't. It's just kind of static, in the airless world that is the moon. But you can see how bright the sunlight shines on it. Remember, the Earth's atmosphere does a lot to actually filter out much of the sun's sort of natural rays. Here he is on foot. I think a picture taken while they were walking to one of their objectives. You can see he's holding a map, navigating along. Obviously, a picture taken by Shepard. This is obviously in the Frau Morrow Highlands of the moon, which brings us into the second part of today's presentation. This is actually technically for the next waypoint, Waypoint 5, but I say Waypoint 5 is basically a navigation point on this expedition, so we're not actually meeting there, hence why I'm sort of doing two presentational subjects at once. So this is like the Waypoint 5 bit now that I'm doing. So the Frau Morrow Highlands is a sort of area of the moon above the Frau Morrow crater, which was named after this man. A monk, I think he was an Italian monk, who basically made one of the most accurate, like, latter medieval maps of the world, and it was pretty good for the time. But he was known as a sort of a standout cartographer in his era, when cartography wasn't really sort of a proper art or science yet. And I think he was considered one of the first people, Fra Mauro, who was, you know, a sort of, you know, I was going to say professional, but he wasn't really a professional cartographer, but he was one who actually brought a sort of discipline and sort of scientific method, I think, into his sort of cartography. And you can see his early maps of the world are quite detailed, and therefore the feature on the moon was named after him. To give some context to Fra Mauro as a target for the Apollo missions, here's a map of the moon showing the different Apollo missions and where they landed. You can see Apollo 12 and the Ocean of Storms are not actually that far away, but obviously it would take quite a long ride even on a rover to get there. Also, you can see out there you've got Apollos 15 and 17 landing in some quite sort of interesting places in comparison, in a slightly further off. But yeah, it's Fra Mauro was always a geologist sort of want, a lunar geologist sort of desire, definitely one of their biggest targets, and that's the reason that in spite of the failure of Apollo 13's targeting of Fra Mauro and the failure of that particular moon landing, the same area was targeted for the next mission, because the geologists absolutely demanded that they go there. I think it was considered to be one of the oldest craters on the moon, and having the impact that caused the Fra Mauro crater then pushed out this ejector blanket to a huge sort of part of the surface of the moon, and I think has some of the oldest rocks on the moon as a result. This is, I think, why the geologists wanted so desperately to actually have this area surveyed by people. And it does make sense. And the original target of Apollo 14, I think, was due to be the Littrow crater, which is not far from Taurus Littrow, ended up being the Apollo 17's landing site. So those two are kind of related, but it was, I say, an area of deep priority for NASA. Now we've seen the bigger context of the moon, this is what the Fra Mauro crater and the Fra Mauro sort of area looks like from orbit. I think this is taken by the Lunar Orbiter satellite. And you can kind of see like an ancient outline of a crater, but it's been sort of worn by impacts over the years, so it's only just like a remnant. You can see at the bottom it's more or less intact, but towards the sort of the left it's sort of worn away, you can barely see it. But I'll show the overlay to where the crater was and how it fits into what we're doing. As you can see, that was the area of the impact of the crater of Fra Mauro, and it's absolutely huge area. It must have been a massive impact, but as you say, sort of worn away over aeons and aeons of impacts into the lunar surface. Right at the top you can see the area that Apollo 13 and eventually 14 will be targeting. This is from some of the releases to do with Apollo 13. This is obviously much more zoomed in sort of map of the approximate area. To the right we have Cone Crater, which was the primary target of Mitchell and Shepard on foot. But coming from Apollo 13, you see where their landing site is. It's actually further away from Cone than Apollo 14 landed. Obviously, the time that Apollo 13 sort of failed and Apollo 14 was being sort of redirected, they decided to actually move the landing site closer to Cone, because it was thought by the geologists maybe it was probably too far away for someone to reach, and in reality Apollo 14 had enough of a problem finding it anyway. It's an intriguing place though, these all these sort of areas of the moon individually and collectively. But yes, Cone Crater was always the sort of the primary target of this, but ultimately Shepard and Mitchell did actually fail to reach it, because this was the last Apollo flight that actually didn't have the lunar rover, and they probably should have had it, but it just wasn't ready at this point. This was the last of the so-called H category missions, where they had the lunar rickshaw, the MET as it was known, but they had to pull that behind themselves, and they ended up abandoning that part of the way up the trek to Kona as well. This is, again, this looks slightly zoomed out. You see the Fra Mauro crater at the bottom, and on the right, the false color image is, I think, showing the sort of, the various, the relief, as it were, the different levels of elevation compared to the raw visual on the left and the sort of slightly enhanced false color image on the right. So all this ought to give context into what they were doing. Zoom slightly further in. And then this is the main map showing where they actually were. Little LM crosses the landing site where the lunar module was. The little bit to the left-hand side of it is the first of the EVAs, the extra vehicle activity, otherwise known as spacewalks, or moonwalks in this case. They didn't go very far on the first one. They were mostly setting out instruments onto the surface. The second EVA was the one to the right of the lunar module landing site. As you can see, the traverse when they try to walk up the fairly steep hills towards Cone Crater, but they didn't actually make it all the way. As you can probably see from the little white line, they got very close, I think within probably about 30 meters or so of the rim, but they didn't know it at the time due to the terrain. I think, as we were talking about earlier on, it's quite difficult to navigate these things on foot. And there was no GPS in those days around the moon, so it was they were doing this all with their own eyes, and it was very difficult to sort of see where they were going due to the terrain and the very sort of primitive tools they had for navigation. But they had to give up, I think, because they were going to run into problems with oxygen, and just, generally they were exhausted having climbed so far. But it was like so near, but so far. They did take some very interesting samples, though, in this place near the edge of Cone Crater, which is a story for another time, and it has its own particular interesting twist. Just out of curiosity, this is the composition of the surrounding area. The little triangle in the middle, the green one, that's where the Apollo 14 landing site was. But this is the whole area of Fra Mauro, as opposed to just a little bit that they're in. And the false color images of the around the sort of landing sites as well. Okay. And that concludes our presentation of Fra Mauro as an area, and also Edgar Mitchell, the astronaut. I will now return into the expedition, and we hopefully will be doing the mass jump. So let us do that. Okay, I'm back.
Great.
Right, yeah, I saw the little chat by Logan as well. I believe what's like a crater to the right of the flag was actually a shadow directional antennae of the rover. Yeah, that's the thing. I think that was they had another sort of large antennae as well that was for communications. But yeah, it's one of the two. So yeah, at this point there was no rover.
Right, they didn't have a rover.
That's what I'm saying. That's the key part of this. This is why they were so exhausted, because they walked further than anyone else and uphill as well to get to Cone Crater. But they should really have left this expedition to like a later Apollo flight where they had the rover. That was the key part. So no matter how young and fit an astronaut would have been, I don't think they would have made Cone Crater either. So yeah, it's a shame really, because they accomplished most of their goals, but just not the key one. But it's like absolutely massive sort of thing, and there's so many huge impacts on the moon. It's ridiculous, because obviously there's no atmosphere to sort of burn up these meteors before they impact on the surface, and that's not even talking about micro meteorites as well. I beg my pardon.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
So it must have been just an antenna on a pole that they set up. Okay.
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, it's kind of remarkable how far they did manage to walk just in the spacesuit, and this was like the first iteration of the Apollo spacesuit as well. I think the later Apollo missions, the J ones, all had the rover, and they had an upgraded suit as well, and an upgraded lunar module, so they had more of everything, more oxygen, more supplies, the rover to take them most of the way, like we do in SRVs at the moment, isn't it? Like, you want to go somewhere, probably off mountain, if you can make it up the mountain in an SRV, you're probably going to do that, and then you'll get out when you get near your destination. And yeah,
exactly.
But yeah, it's I think they just, because they were new to lunar exploration. Apollo 11 didn't go very far at all. Apollo 12 slightly further. Go.
Definitely to survey or crater. I think all the EVAs on Apollo 11 would have fit inside the area of a baseball stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
In fact, I think maybe even within the baseball diamond.
I think that's about right, because they literally was the first time they were going to be cautious, essentially. But you're right, then 12 went to the surveyor crater, which still was quite close to the lunar module, but like they walked a fair distance to get there. But as you say,
maybe a quick little trek out to right field.
Yeah, exactly. But 14 was the first time they really pushed like how far they could walk in that environment, and also how far the suit could take them. Because they were like reaching the limits of the oxygen the suit could provide. Well, not just in terms of how much storage capacity they had of oxygen, but also the rate of oxygen that the suit could pump as well.
Yeah, they were exerting themselves and all that, and that uses up oxygen at a higher rate.
Yeah. I think another sort of even extra factor on top of everything we've talked about, and like obviously body temperature and things comes into play, it's also the fact that they'd quite developed the techniques that people like 15, 16, 17 ended up working out, but the bunny hop and things like the little kangaroo hop to get around.
Oh, yeah.
I think because they pulled the lunar rickshaw, the Met, like about part the way up to Cone Crater, and they had to abandon it because it was just like too heavy and it was slowing them down. So that had a lot of scientific experiments and things on it, and it was supposed to help them, but it wasn't helping them in real life. Obviously, the rover made that easier later on. But yeah, it was obviously a case that there wasn't the experience around, and they were the first ones to experience the limits of that sort of early, planetary sort of EVA, really. But as always with these things, their mistakes made the later missions better, and they sort of used their energy much more efficiently and stayed for longer.
Yeah. I was entertained by a little... Adam Savage of Mythbusters?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
He got him... he got Commander Hatfield from Canada to join with him on a walk through a convention space, because everybody seems to know now that Adam Savage loves a spacesuit. So if you see a spacesuit, it's probably Adam. But he thought he'd throw them off the trail by having Commander Hatfield with him. So it's like, oh, it's two of them. Maybe it's not Adam, sort of. But Adam had learned some lessons of his own on previous spacesuit walks, and he actually has developed for convention walking a sort of primitive version of the cooling vest that they use in the spacesuits. He basically took lessons from real spacesuits in order to provide cooling inside what would otherwise be a very stuffy environment, plus fans inside the helmets and all that. But Hadfield actually told Adam that one of the things they have are heaters on the backs of the fingertips of the gloves, which Adam didn't know at the time. I didn't either. I thought that was fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
They've basically, and one wondered, I tried to think it through. I was like thinking, wait a minute, why is it on the back of the finger where the fingernail is instead of the other way around? Oh, wait, you've got to grab stuff with that. You're probably going to crinkle the wiring inside there if you have it the other way around. No, you don't want to do that. But yes, put it along the back side of the hand. It'll work just fine.
Yeah.
But they have both cooling and heating elements in all the EVA spacesuits up on the International Space Station.
I think you have to, really. I think all EVA suits have, like, from the fairly early days of space exploration, have done that, because, as you say, it's like, obviously in orbit you're going to go in and out of dark and light quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously on the moon that happens less, but you still want obviously that balance of temperature. And so
I think it's still adjusted manually, but I wonder if in the future they might not have like a little computer AI system in the suit that would actually just moderate that automatically.
Yeah, I'm surprised they don't already have that, because it doesn't even need AI, just a fairly simple bit of electronics could actually moderate the temperature quite well, you know.
Yeah, your hand is getting too warm, activate the cooling system, and vice versa.
Exactly, yeah. It'll come in time, no doubt, but...
Oh, yeah.
No, it is fascinating, you know.
Yeah. Oh, and the suits that they were using on that convention walk were the recreation of the Clavius silver version of the 2001 spacesuits, not the ones from not the ones from the Discovery, the multicolored ones. No, these were the silver ones when they're investigating the monolith on the moon.
Seeing the green clouds floating in front of us at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand why they were silver, because I think for some of the very early Mercury and Gemini suits were that sort of silvery type, and that was sort of known in that era. But yeah, it is sort of interesting how quickly the suits evolved even in the 1960s. If you look visually through like an Apollo era suit and the modern ISS ones, they don't look that different visually, apart from maybe the ISS ones are slightly bulkier. I think it's like under the skin there's a lot more differences, especially like micrometeorite protection and things like that, because I think the Apollo era ones were like way thinner and way more sort of, you know, prone to damage than they realized. I don't think they quite understood how hostile the environment actually was. Not so much in terms of temperature, because they understood that quite well, but in terms of like micrometeorite and also the dust, the lunar dust, especially in certain parts of the moon, is incredibly physically corrosive, not in a chemical sense, but in terms of actually just wearing the suit down. I think it was Apollo 17 that they had the biggest problem with that. Like, it got stuck in the joints and it started to like literally erode bits of the suit, because it was like, imagine like volcanic sand on Earth, but even like coarser than that. So they got to the point where if the expedition had gone on for like another day on the surface, the spacesuits would have been useless. That's how quickly they were sort of wearing down. And when we return to the moon, they're going to have to take that into account, and they're trying to develop these various solutions now, I think, using various electrical charges on the outside of the suit to try and repel the dust. But yeah, it's fascinating.
Or maybe even just have shells or something over places where the dust might gather, but I don't know if that's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens, because obviously they're going to have to develop this soon. I mean, Artemis 2 is sort of due... well, this year, I think, isn't it? The basically the Apollo 8 reprise.
Right.
Like we're going around the moon again with some people on board, but the lander isn't built yet. It won't be built for years. And with what's going on in America at the moment, I don't know if it's going to be built by SpaceX or somebody else. It might be a whole new contractor.
Ironically, we actually have a couple of versions of a rover all ready to go, just nothing to put them in.
Funny that, isn't it? Yeah. I think also, to be fair, is that, forget anything political for a while, but the idea that SpaceX had of actually using Starship as the lander, it seems a bit overkill, to be honest. I'm sure it could be done, but it's just that it doesn't seem like the most efficient way of doing it. You have this like massively outsized lander compared to the orbiter particularly. And in fact, you've got to refuel the lander so many times just to even get it there. It's kind of an outsized solution, but we'll see what happens, you know. Some of the others didn't look very good. I mean, the Blue Origin one, I think, was actually really quite strange, because it was like looked like it was going to fall over any second.
Uh-oh. I'm seeing a whole bunch of people disappearing from the instance. I
Really?
wonder if it's me or them.
I haven't seen anyone visually disappear, and I'm kind of an external camera at the moment looking around, and I don't think anyone has. Please say in voice or in text if anyone has dropped out of the instance, because that would not be good. Oh, B8 says their connection died. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, this was about 6 minutes ago. Have they come back? Have they tried to get back into the instance? Let's have a look. Are they here? Yeah, they're here.
They're back with us.
That's cool.
BE8F lost the connection. I brought them back in.
Oh, that's awesome. That's excellent. Okay. So
I'm not sure if I don't think you're visible. I think you're one of the ones that disappeared.
Okay.
From my perspective, maybe it's my connection that's the problem.
I think it should be your connection.
If you see most people, you should be okay. Maybe I'll come back into visual in a moment.
Tell you what, I'm just gonna go to the main menu and then log back in and see what happens.
Okay, fair enough. We'll give it about 5-ish minutes and see what happens.
Yeah, because it might be me.
Okay, we'll do that then. I think the Mandalay might be pointing the wrong way.
Exiting the main menu.
I did like when people had these sort of bold choices of exploration ships, like the Beluga. It's a better explorer than you'd anticipate, but it's not the obvious one.
It has so many internals, and it has a jump range of 55 light years.
Yeah. No, it's a good one.
I think the Beluga. I think the actual range of the Beluga is phenomenal.
I have an extra tank. I think a 6 size 6 extra fuel tank.
The only trouble with the Beluga is the time it takes to refuel. It's like refueling a DBX.
I was going to say that. It's a bit better than the DBX, but not much better. You're right about that.
Okay.
But I only need to refuel every 20 jumps.
I'm in a team with Kit Allison.
That's true. There's a lot of tanks and that thing.
Oh, we're all here.
Maybe it's just a bug again, because I think we've been having a few weird bugs this evening. So
yeah,
I think we are all here.
There's a team signal which is moving away from me. Oh, maybe.
Can you go
maybe
to
it bumped me over to the side. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is that. Hold on a moment. Let me just get to Super Cruise, and I'll come right back.
Free Anaconda.
See what happens.
Yeah. And this is the free Anaconda everyone was talking about earlier.
Yes, not exactly me. Remember, it costs 0 credits. But we need deliver some loyalty. And don't forget to buy the mug.
Of course. Those
Trevor, on your dashboard, the hot mug.
I would love to have got a Hutton mug.
Okay, there we go. Now I see a bunch of people.
Awesome.
I have a mug from a previous expedition.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is, yep, okay. It was me then. Okay.
Yeah, truth is, it might have been fine. You might have been okay. I think it is just a bug at the moment. There've been about 10 different bugs today that we've seen, and yeah, I'm glad we're all here and kind of in one piece. To be fair.
Yeah. Let me redo my galaxy map. Okay, there we go. Got it locked in.
But yeah, I think at this point in the evolution of the game, there's so many ships that can have good jump range because of things like Guardian boosters. You know, it's like most things can become. You could just have like a space bike and it could be an exploration ship at this point. You know.
Right.
You can do a Corvette.
I think I've got fairly well over 40 light years on my Sidewinder.
That's an achievement.
Good.
Yeah.
All right.
Portable galaxy with Sidewinder.
Well, maybe we ought to go ahead and do this jump before we have another glitch.
Yeah, I think we're going to get going in a moment. Okay, cool. We can always chat after we've jumped as well, so that'll be awesome. Okay, we're ready to go. We'll lace it up. Spool up if you haven't already done so.
Hot and ready.
Locked and loaded. Cool. Right. Okay. About to start the count. Everyone in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And we're away. I think I was one of the last ships to actually get going, but that was on purpose.
Good show, eh?
It is. It never gets dull, does it?
But we're all very blasé about it now. Nobody was saying, wow, or look at that.
It is quite beautiful though still. It's like, I still,
it is.
yeah, I still inwardly think it's like that's still really cool. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's like the sense of wonder, maybe not as great as the first time you did it or the first 10 times, but there's still that sense of like quiet wonder, I think.
Yeah.
Try the head on next time.
All right, commanders, see you at Waypoint 6.
Awesome, we'll see you then. And that's the starburst, and you're flying off with these little trails in different directions.
What's first for the Waypoint 5?
Yeah. Maybe wing up and see you at Waypoint 5. All right.
Awesome.
Bye.
Yeah, as I've said to sort of everyone before, it's like if any of you want to meet up with each other midweek, that's absolutely fine. Organise it obviously amongst yourselves, and yeah, that can be fun, especially if you find a nice little place to do it somewhere along the way. Yeah, I think I'm going to jump back to the meetup system. And switch my ship.
Oh, Astral Express got here.
Oh, to jump into this system, or is it back in the
It's
origin?
also area, so yes.
Yeah, it's in orbit around the sun in the vicinity of Kamamitsune.
Ah.
Yep.
I just 22 jumps from Waypoint 5.
Yeah, I'm going to get into my Mandalay.
That's short and useful.
All right.
Okay, I think I'll see you next week. That's
Awesome.
maybe the last meeting I get to.
Okay, well, we'll see you then. Have a good one.
See ya.
Ah, cool. Right.
Tonight I didn't have the pub, so I could actually go and jump with you all.
Yeah, no, I noticed that. I was about to remark on it, and but yeah, here we are. But no, I'm glad. I'm glad you got to do that. It's always like, as always with these things, the more the merrier. The more people we can have in a mass jump, the cooler it is for everyone.
Oh yeah. It'll probably never be like it was for the very first jumps of Distant Worlds 2, because holy crap, we kind of
killed the server?
The entire Frontier server farm.
Oh yeah, that'll live in legend forever. As long as this game exists, people will talk about that.
Actually, I think the Mercury 7 group actually managed a mass jump that night.
Yeah, I think we actually got to the system, but then it died about 2 seconds in.
Yeah.
I think that was the one where, Yannick, I think you were a little bit late, and some people wanted to wait for you, and Chank Sao Tome decided we were going right on the dot with everybody else, and
Yeah.
People had to decide whether they jumped or not.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's probably true, but it's I think there was so much going on at that point. It was very difficult to keep track of exactly who was where and what, because yeah, you're right. It was a bunch of us all sort of like going on distant worlds together, and that it was fun. But yeah, except we did run into the server crash problem, but we didn't hit, I think, the worst part of it, which was when everyone tried to jump on the dot. And even though Frontier said they'd actually reinforced their servers and brought more online, it still wasn't enough. But I mean, maybe they've learnt their lesson now. Hopefully.
Yeah.
As I said, many good hamsters died that night. Yeah.
I would love to participate in a DW3, but in the absence thereof, I'll fly with you boys anytime.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I'm very happy to have you. But that's the thing. It's like it's these sort of expeditions are fun. I think no matter how many sort of people, whether it's like 440 or 400, it's always just great to sort of be with other people and do these things. Obviously, like the bigger expeditions are limited by instance size, really, and you have all these instances everywhere.
It's a limiter for now. Never gonna change.
Exactly, yeah. But that's going to be the way. Is how powerful computers get, there'll be obviously limits to what we can do. But it's still kind of great when you know all these people are going on, because one advantage of the big expedition, when you've got literally hundreds or thousands of people, is that even if someone can't get into an instance with someone, they can usually get into another instance with somebody else, and it's still going to be a big group of people. So it's like, it may not be exactly the one you wanted, but you might know somebody else in it. Even if you don't, you might make some new friends that way. And that's usually what happened. But that's all good.
So when the expedition's over, do you just keep the Discord going and rename it for the next one, or?
No, I usually leave each one as a sort of, I don't know, little sort of museum or sort of memorial to the expedition itself. And the only thing I tend to stop is, like, I don't allow new joiners, and the invite just gets shut down. But other than that, anyone who's already a member of the Discord, you can stay for as long as you like. Like, sometimes later, a few months or years later, people will sometimes put pictures or might even put like news stories to do with it. Especially the Apollo related ones, obviously people tend to like. But yeah, I mean, lots of stuff that way, because sometimes people talk about new expeditions or new things by posting in some of these older Discords. So yeah, every expedition I've done, apart from the first two, because they were on the CCN sort of Discord, and those channels got shut down, and I probably should have let them do that, but from like the third one I did onwards, it's been a Discord for every single expedition. So yeah, it's it'll be there in perpetuity.
Yeah, the Discord group for Apollo 15 is still up.
Yeah. All the others are still up, but that's the thing, is like, if you're a member of it, then that's cool. But yeah, just stick around for as long as you like.
I've still got those in my bar. I just out of nostalgia haven't gotten rid of them.
I think it's good.
I think I'm gonna have to start a folder.
That's the thing, because sometimes you need to remind yourself, obviously, of these things, or you've got some pictures and you can then look through it and just remind yourself of what you've done as well.
Yeah, I was because when I first started playing, I was manually labeling screenshots, which is just painful. But I discovered that ED Copilot, when you capture a screenshot, it will resize the file, make it a JPEG, and tag the name with the system or body you're at. So I didn't have to keep doing that.
Yeah, no,
it's a good one. I could webhook it into a Discord and then just forward the image to wherever I wanted to share it. It was even better.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard, Holden.
Commander AEP says that's my first mass jump. It's like, well, I'm glad to hear it. It's like it's the first time for everything, and it's a great thing to do.
Yeah, I'm not typically a big multiplayer guy, so this is great for me. I get my little fix every week, and then in between I can just kind of pop off and team up with one or two people and kind of have a good time that way. It
is good, isn't it, this way? I mean, I think these sort of instance sizes are quite kind of decent as well, because like they usually the system tends to cap out at about 20 to 30. You can get bigger ones in space, but on the surface it's sort of harder to do that. But that's kind of a more manageable number. If it was like 100 or 200 people in the same service instance, it would be complete madness. Imagine trying to do this evening's event with like 100 people. It would be just complete madness. Nothing would ever get done.
Very cozy.
Exactly, yeah. No, it works well this size, but yeah, even on big expeditions, that's the only way you can do it. It's like these groups of about, maximum 20 to 30 people as an instance in one place. It is on the same moon or planet, in a different place on the planet. That's usually the way. But yeah, it's especially if Distant Worlds happens, that would be a huge thing. I mean, I have a suspicion, again, is like people almost like starting to put their sort of bets on this. It's like, would it be as big as Distant Worlds 2? It's like, that's going to be a hard bar to beat, to be honest. That's like 14,000 sign-ups. Yeah. And it's like, I doubt it's going to be that large. I mean, you never know. I mean, I would love to be proven wrong in that regard. But if they did like between 5 to 10,000, I think they'd be doing well. But yeah, more the merrier, absolutely.
Yeah. And I suppose there will be some carrier support. Plus, I think there's already some carriers which are permanently stationed at certain locations across the backside of the galaxy. And but I wonder what route they would take. Sure, would they want to go to Beagle Point again, or would they want to maybe circumnavigate the galaxy?
I think that would be a neat one. It would be a long one, but it would be a neat one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or at least maybe, if not circumnavigate, then maybe hit all the major compass points along the outside edge of the galaxy, and then dip in and, try and fill in some of the places that are a little less dense of discoveries. Like, everybody seems to go to, once you get past the core of the galaxy, everybody seems to either go straight or left.
Yeah.
I noticed that.
I don't see a whole lot of people going to the upper right quadrant of the galaxy. I think it could stand a little bit more exploration over in that direction.
I think based on my personal experience and having led an expedition to that eastern part of the galaxy, there isn't quite as much in the way of like nebulae generated. There could be lots of smaller like planetary nebulae we've not discovered. Probably because I don't see why it'd be generated less on that side of the galaxy, but for some reason when they actually generated the galaxy back in 2014, there is just more stuff, bigger like entities like nebulae and things in the western sort of hemisphere than the eastern one for some reason. I don't know why.
Sort of almost as if that the port side of the galaxy is like I don't know, the Spenward Marches, and then the opposite side's sort of the trailing edge and doesn't get quite as much.
Actually, I'm going to disembark my ship and run around for a little bit in JBL's carrier to see what's what.
Yeah. On ED Astra, you've basically got a triangle between the Bubble, Colonia, Beagle Point, and the long leg running through the core, and then it looks like most of the arms get a fair bit of traffic. But like the edges of the arms get no love whatsoever.
Well, maybe that's something they could, rectify on whatever portion they could do. Maybe say, "Hey, folks, go this way."
Yeah.
Or set up some waypoints for, you want to hit here, 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 and here, but along the way, hey, see if you can survey, along the edges of these arms and see if you find anything new.
It would be wonderful if Frontier did actually plant sort of new, either sort of Guardian or Thargoid, or even the new alien races, sort of, settlements along the way. That would be awesome. It doesn't have to be a living alien race. It can be like a dead one, like the Guardians were. But something new would be cool.
Get back on the platform, so I make a screenshot. You're inside the fun guys, yeah?
Oh, do you want us back up top?
Yep.
Yeah. Let me move up there.
I'm actually I'm in JBL skier carrier at the moment. I'm at the Pioneer Supply, seeing what they've got for me.
We migrated over here to Tama because I know JBL had mentioned he was doing a little side quest.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I might do the same in that case.
Waypoint 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, he's still going to Waypoint 6. He's just skipping 5, but we've been playing refueling crew over here, so we drug everything over here.
Yeah, no, that might be a good idea actually if I have Waypoint 5. So, no, I don't want to buy a frag grenade or an e-breach. I have no need for it out here.
I actually have a full stock of grenades. I haven't done anything but accidentally throw them yet.
Okay, I might move over to the other carrier then in that case, if it's only going via 5. So.
Oh, and AG has in fact activated the outfitting.
Yeah, yep, I did it especially for you.
It is much appreciated,
I'm glad.
sir.
Yeah, I'm genuinely
Alrighty.
glad.
All right, well, I'm going to take off here, get some food, and I'll talk to you guys later, all right?
Okay, awesome. Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, I'll catch you later.
Yeah. Right,
I'm recording you take off.
Yeah, I will probably get going quite soon myself as well. But yeah, I may go over to the other carrier. I don't think I've actually shown...
everyone. 07.
07?
07.
Have a good one. I don't think I've actually shown the insides of the carriers on stream for a while, so... Maybe not on this expedition anyway. So it's probably a good one.
Neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't even docked on one until I got out here and first landed on Skio.
Yeah.
Alright, that's enough for today. See you next time.
Have a good one.
Later.
Yeah, even though I'm obviously encouraging people to sort of fly, you know, by themselves as much as they can, you know, without carrier support, I still do dock on them from time to time myself, even if it's just a switch ship for like meetups and things. Okay.
I really want to be that kind of player. I just don't know that I can.
That's fair.
Like the appeal of just being out on your own and kind of having to, you know, make sure you take care and not to lose your data and that kind of thing. That very much appeals to me. But
yeah,
I don't have an alt account set up, and I'd get so tired of doing the same thing. It's nice to be able to dock up, switch to a miner, and go play refueler for a couple hours just to get a different activity.
No, that's cool.
I think the ultimate plan here for me is to buy a fleet carrier in Kelowna and then go back via the core and pick everything else up.
The only thing I would caution about buying in Colonia is that there's a huge problem with getting tritium in Colonia. It's what is available is incredibly expensive, and there's not that much of it available. So you can buy a carrier, but it's not the best place to buy one.
Mm. Well, supposedly you can jump back in around an hour and a half now, so.
Yeah.
But that kind of suits my playstyle too, you know.
That's fair.
Jump on and make one 500 light year jump and really kind of dig into that area, mine up the fuel I need for the next jump, and then move on. I'm not in a rush. I do feel like I joined the wrong squadron though.
Okay, which one did you join?
I'm with it's a newer one, Galactic Corsair Syndicate, and they're all really into BGS play, and I've made some friends over there, but they're by far and away not a group of explorers at all.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, some people, as you say, really love BGS work. I mean, I've done it in the past, and I tend to help out in like emergencies if people like really need the bodies, and I happen to be in the bubble at that time. I'll help out with people's BGS, but it's just like generally speaking, it's not that much fun because it's just quite repetitive work often.
And there's days I don't mind doing that or trade running, like you said, you know, here and there. I'll sit down for an hour or two and auto dock it back and forth between two stations. It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd much rather be out here putting a dent in the 98 whatever percent we haven't explored.
That's true. I mean, I was trying to look at this. I think statistically, there's more in the core of the galaxy that's unexplored than anywhere else because there's just so many star systems. And yeah, it will be there forever exploring. Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually noticed I might have to change my HUD configuration because this one's a bit too transparent. Now that there's a greater star density behind my side panels, I can't read them as well.
Yeah. No, it is interesting, isn't it? It's you've got at this sort of incredible star density at certain parts of the core that you could sort of like be within like 10 light years and just take ages to explore all the star systems because they're just literally that close together. But yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly how this colonization thing is going to run, but obviously it's probably not going to be like, you know, you can just set up in the middle of nowhere, because that'll be wonderful for explorers to claim your own little fiefdom and have your own little system and everything, but I don't think it's going to work that way.
They've said it has to be, because I've actually done some research, because that faction or that squadron I'm in, they're kind of locked in, buried, you know, underneath a pretty much circled in by much larger groups like Cannon. So there's nowhere BGS wise for them to expand to and not pick a fight with a much bigger fish. So they were kind of looking. So we as a group kind of dug into the news coming out about colonization, and initially it's not going to include Colonia. It's just going to be the bubble.
So I hear.
And it's going to be like a 10 light year jump from a populated system to one that's eligible to be colonized. Although they said that's likely to increase later.
Yeah.
But I would be okay with it, you know, like if they were talking about it on Lave Radio, and I thought it was a great idea. If like the level 1 of colonization was that style where you're growing the bubble, but at a much higher cost, you could say go out 200 light years from a populated system, and that would, you know, be kind of neat for exploration.
Oh yeah. You're right. It's like initially it is going to be probably quite limited, but as always, the devil's in the details. It will always be what is the limit from, as you say, the expansion limit, and depending on obviously where you can start from. But yeah, it's early days, isn't it? But yeah, I'm curious just to see how it all works out.
In a way, I'm kind of glad we're out here in the middle of nowhere, because it'll be somewhat settled by the time we make our way back.
Yeah.
Maybe some of the first update craziness will have subsided.
Well, exactly. It's going to take a while to bed itself in and all the bugs to be sort of ironed out, as always with these big new updates. Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic about it, I will say that. Obviously,
I would say that's about where I am.
It makes sense if you're a member of a bigger group that you can obviously band together and make something yourselves.
Well, and they have also said it's supposed to be attainable by a single player as well.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they mean by that just meaning literally the one base in the system. Like you start off with a small planetary outpost and it's literally got like one docking port and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's literally like you can achieve that as one player, but anything more than that you're realistically going to need friends to join in, or it might just take you a long time. You need to build, let's say, an orbital platform or whatever.
We have 4 hours a day for a month running back and forth in a T9 just to have an orbit station.
Someone's going to do that. You know, some loner is going to do that, and it's going to be hilarious as well. But it's like, well, fair play to them, you know.
Absolutely, they can have it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Quite happy to be lost out here in the middle of nowhere.
I just caught up with Commander Vagabond at A.G. Duran's carrier. Hello, Commander. I'm going to go below deck now.
Just launched.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have a quick look around Commander Duran's carrier as well, just because there's not a huge variation between them. I just want to see what they've got going on.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed by that. I would like to have seen a little more customization on there.
Oh, yeah.
It seems like the color scheme, things like that wouldn't be terribly hard to implement.
Oh, totally. I think most people would agree, definitely. And like, I understand, like, the docking bay is going to be kind of fairly standard. But once you get into it, you thought there'd been some kind of customization. And if it wasn't just colors, but, like the layout of it too. Like, you could, within certain parameters, you could change, like, where different facilities were.
Mm-hmm.
So you give some kind of
them always being in the same spot.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? So just the identikit carriers otherwise.
And it wouldn't even have to be like custom colors. If they just gave you a palette and said, these are your 5 choices, pick one.
Exactly.
From a player's standpoint, when you land on a different one, it's still going to be neat to have that variation.
I mean, even the Hollow Me, where you've got, as you say, like a limited range of colors. I mean, that's fine. That's like a limited range of customization. I know that's exactly what you're sort of talking about. And it shouldn't be too tricky, but for whatever reason, they've never really moved beyond this, like, basic version of the carrier. It's a shame, really. Okay, this is Vista Genomics. Have I sold anything to them? I'm going to ask them anyway. Hello, I wish to sell some stuff to you, good sir. I wish to sell my organic data. Yes, I do. I don't know, I haven't got any organic data. I think I sold all mine last time. No, I haven't got any, apparently. No organic data detected. Oh, that's fair enough. Actually, there's no more other options, like conversationally. Like, you can't do small talk with them. You just, like, straight down to business. And it's like, well, yeah, you could make it a little bit more humane. I mean, like most adventure games, I'm not saying it has to be like, a full-on adventure game with all these different options and everything, but...
Have you heard any good rumors lately?
That would be a good one, yeah.
Give me an option to ask about Raxla. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Even if it was just purely as a joke, it would be fun to do that.
Oh, the chit-chat coming from ED Copilot is wonderful for that.
Oh, yeah.
And it also reads out the chat messages, which is very helpful. If you're, in the galaxy map or something, and people, like during the meetup, people are saying, hey, I need a wing invite or something. I don't have to exit out to see it. I just hear it come through, which has been very nice.
Well, exactly. And obviously that's just a sort of a person in their spare time sort of making an app as well. I mean, Frontier's got actual professional people involved to do this.
Yeah, I mean, the guy that made that, I mean, he's in his 50s. He's retired. He had nothing else to do. Like, surely, with a full team of programmers, it wouldn't be that hard to implement if this guy did it in his free time.
Yeah. As always with these things, I think it's down to sort of management decisions rather than individual developers a lot of the time. But one thing I will say is positive. Frontier does seem to have taken a more positive interest in this game than they have for quite some years, actually. Because they took their eye off, Elite for probably 2 or 3 years. Because they were having other priorities like the F1 game, I think, various, like, game titles like... the Jurassic World ones. I'm nothing against the Jurassic World games or anything. They look quite decent, but, there's various other projects that they seem to sort of take as a priority above and beyond this. But, yeah, I mean, I'm glad they're paying attention again to it. I mean, that's a positive thing.
Yeah, I didn't actually experience that because like I said, I bought the game some time ago. I think I bought it just after Horizons came out.
Oh, right, okay.
And hardly played it. And then, for whatever reason, I picked it up, plugged in my HOTUS, and really dug into it this time. And now I'm going back listening to Lave Radio and watching all the YouTube channels, and I'm seeing that really positive reaction out of the community about the change in the way it's being handled. And I fortunately, I wasn't here to experience the dark days, so I'm kind of looking forward to see how it progresses now that it seems to be on track with what people were expecting 10 years ago.
Okay. Yeah. No, but I'm glad you're here, It's always one of those things. It's like, I think the exploration community is probably like the best of all the Elite sort of sub-communities, as it were, just because it's quite a friendly bunch of people and there's no sort of sense of like deep competition like there's with PvPers. Or even the races get a little bit competitive sometimes, like because obviously it is a competition and stuff. But it's like not knocking those communities, especially because I have done some racing as well. I've done like buckyball racing when I've been in the bubble, and that's been quite fun. I'm not amazing at it. I'm okay, but it's some of the players out there are like astonishing in their abilities, but kind of goes without saying. But yeah, explorers are usually quite a sort of friendly bunch, and I've known people in the game who've literally gone from like one expedition to another, and like, you know, filling in the time between one expedition and the next, doing their own thing, and like that's absolutely fine. And you know, it's a lovely bunch of people usually.
Yeah, I've certainly had that experience with this group. It's been very, very cozy, very nice. You know, like I said, everyone's just, they get together, they have a good time, and there's absolutely no animosity towards anybody else. It's just, you know, we're out here doing our thing.
Well, that's the way it should be, really. It's
oh yeah.
I think it's also, the game generally is a very good sort of escape from mundanity. And most people are sort of usually sci-fi fans of some kind, or at least fantasy fans at the very least. Often those two are like the same thing, you know. People who are fantasy fans are often sci-fi fans as well. So, yeah, it's pretty nice, really. But yeah, most expedition groups that I've ever sort of been involved with and played with are pretty similar. Obviously, like the exact, like, you know, modus operandi of each different expedition is slightly different. But it's all pretty similar in terms of like it's a friendly community and people have a good time. At the moment, I'm in the bar of A.G. Duran's carrier and looking at the funny, not funny, slightly sort of cheesy sort of adverts on the screen. And there's some nice details in the bar. It's just that. And I know I often sort of talk about this, but it's like, why is there not just literally like sipping the drink animation? It's like, it's the worst bar in history, and every single carrier has a terrible bar. It's like,
and at the same time, it's the most flushed out location on a carrier.
You
go
exactly.
in there and that's where all the life is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a social space. 100%. It looks nice as a social space, and it's sort of for getting, you know, various bits and pieces for suit upgrades and the like. But it's like, but that's not a bar then. It's like a trade center.
Right.
Yeah. But still, I mean, there's lots of nice details in it. I mean, I'm sort of looking on the wall at the moment. There's this kind of readout that it's basically one of those things that's supposed to like look scientific. It doesn't really tell you anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I've still got you.
It's got the accurate time on it, so that's fine.
I am glad to see that they populate that with the carrier name instead of something generic.
Yeah, that is good. And I think at some point later in the expedition we'll probably have a sort of in-person social meet in the bar, as it were. Everyone gets out on foot and meets in the same locale. And that would be nice. New inbox message, your orca has arrived. Yeah, I think I transferred it over a second ago. Kinematic Conquer All. Yes, it's the new rifle that I have not used yet. I think I probably did use it at one point, actually.
I don't think I've used any. I haven't managed any on-foot combat yet, but there's time.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling I'll be playing this for a very long time.
Well, that's the thing, because there's time that I'm going to be in Colonia or in the bubble between exploration trips. And yeah, I'll try new things then. I think, as always with these things, it's like if you spend enough time and effort building up your skills, you'll probably get quite decent at it. But I don't claim any particular sort of ability in on-foot combat. Yeah, for me, it's just purely on-foot exploration at this stage, and that's enough, at least for now. So what's interesting?
So far, I don't believe I would either. I'm pretty good at buckyballing. That's about it.
There's this little bit off the bar that looks like a coffee machine, but there's no coffee in it, and it's like, well, and there's a bit that looks like for like where a tray should maybe be, or is that supposed to be like a cooking surface? Oh, it's supposed to be a cooking surface. I see, but no one's cooking there. It's a nice little sort of detail, but it's like, even if some like kind of limited interaction would be cool.
Yeah, let you go pick up a drink or a coffee or something.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, yeah. I think on actual stations you can get missions from people, and you go and talk to them, and they'll say that we want you to do this, this, and this for this money, and that's fine, you know. But obviously with carriers it tends to be a bit more limited, because obviously you're like a mobile station, but a much more limited version of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because then it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to have some of those random ones. I mean, they'd have to recalculate every time you jumped, or you could be accepting a mission that sends you halfway to Beagle Point.
Oh yeah, Thankfully, there are any of those that are quite as long range as that, I don't think. The longest range missions I've ever seen in the game are about passenger missions, usually, or tourist passenger missions from like Colonia to the bubble or vice versa. And it's like, well, if you wanted to pay to do that, you know, it's just like fine, but it is kind of funny. I think I tried those once just for the experience. But what I ended up doing, I didn't actually fly the distance. I just got on a carrier, and someone else took me from going into the bubble, and that was it really. So I got the money for it. I was happy to do that. But yeah.
Well, I've heard for people that aren't necessarily explorers but still want to see things, some of those sightseeing tours are actually a pretty good way to, you know, play an in-game mechanic and still go out and see some of the cool sights just because you happen to have hot passengers wanting to go there.
Yeah. No, sure. That is. It's probably quite a good way to start, as you say, because it's already laid out for you that there's like a tourist beacon at this place, and there's something cool to see when you get there. Available services, it says here: bartender, genomics, shipyard. Yeah, that's all true. And it all seems to work quite nicely. Actually, if anything, I might end the evening here when I'll sit down at the bar and probably do that. That might be a nice thing to do. I was trying to go to the command deck thinking it was like my own carrier, and then it was, oh, I'm not invited up there by the owner, so I can't go to the command deck, so I just have to sit in the sort of guest area. I'll put myself down here somewhere in the bar area, though. Because I like the little person sleeping as well. That seems quite realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But nice. But anyway, I think I will call it an evening. It's been great, everyone. Thank you. I will see you at Waypoint 6 in the next one. Remember to hit Waypoint 5 on the way. But the meet is at Waypoint 6, and I'll see you all then. Have a good one.
See you.
7.
Mm-hmm.